I'm already a millionaire in my mind. I may not see it yet, but I believe it now. In the same way a seed is called by its finished form, I'm accepting my divine inheritance as a child of God. I'm meant to have life and have it more abundantly. My treasure on earth shall correspond directly to the treasure in the heaven of my mind. Abundance is my birthright. Ashe, amen, and so it is. My name is Jullien Gordon, and I'm author of Rich and Righteous: Spiritual Secrets to Mastering Money, Manifestation, and Your Mind. After becoming a multimillionaire through real estate investing, I was moved by God at the beginning of the pandemic to share my money mindset that allowed me to quit my job in January of 2009 at the bottom of the last recession and achieve full financial freedom. I own my mental real estate before I own any physical real estate. This book is like some of your favorites: Rich Dad, Poor Dad, As a Man Thinketh, Think and Grow Rich, and the Bible all in one. But the divine downloads and thoughts that are in here are 100% original and came to me over a 6-month period at the beginning of the pandemic. This book is normally $100 on Amazon if you went there right now, but I want to give you access to it for free by inviting you to our next reading group. Yes, the reading group is 100% free. Every weekday for 100 days straight, I'll be reading and discussing the 10 money commandments in the book that make money come to you in your life easily, more frequently, and abundantly. And it will take about 30 to 45 minutes as we read 3 to 5 pages per day until we finish the book and reprogram your mind around money. Why 100 days? Well, if you are 30 years old, you've lived for 10,950 days. And we have to deprogram and reprogram the negative, scarcity-based money mindset society has taught you. And I believe I can do that in just 1% of the time in about 100 days. I'm done with shelf help. You know, when you buy a book to change your life, but you never read it, it just sits on your bookshelf and collects a whole bunch of dust. We off that. When is the last time you had an author actually read their book to you out loud because they cared about you getting the information in your soul? I'm not just here to get this book in your hands. More importantly, I want to get it in your head and your heart, because that's where the real transformation occurs, in the conscious and the subconscious mind. As scripture says, be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind. This is not the type of book that you just read once. To renew the subconscious mind requires repetition over and over and over. So if you joined us last time, I encourage you to join us again. I myself have read this book over 10 times already. So click the link to join our next reading group, and when you sign up, I'm going to give you the first 2 chapters of the book for absolutely free on what is money and abundance is your birthright, so that you can start your journey to a more abundant life today. Rich Rising, welcome to another day of Read Rich and Righteous. It is the beginning of an amazing week, and we are reading Rich and Righteous: Spiritual Secrets to Mastering Money, Manifestation, and Your Mind. This is part of our 100-day money mindset reprogram. Today, we are on day number 37. I see people already typing their consistency scores in chat. We are on day number 37. This begins week 8, and we have reached the halfway point. Friday was our halfway point on this journey. We have 72 readings, which was the first Saturday, right? The 70 readings, and then the final Saturday where we have our test of money from all of you and your transformations during this process. And so we are at the halfway mark, which is absolutely amazing. And I just thank you for your consistency and commitment. The reason we keep our consistency score is because to reprogram the subconscious mind requires repetition. And so I see 37s, I see some 37s, I see some low 30s, some 20s, and it doesn't matter. It's not about comparison, right? It's about you tracking your own consistency. I know some of you, because people continue to like, share, and comment on this video, and I know a lot of people are just finding out about this. And so again, these consistency scores are not about being in comparison to somebody else in the community. It's really just for you and for you to see how well you're doing on this journey. And so I'm excited about this week. We are actually in money commandment number 5. We actually just transitioned here, which is how the rich and righteous ask for money, how the rich and righteous ask for money. And on Friday, we started that out with the problem with vision boards, right? The problem with vision boards is that they are selfish, right? They are selfish. They are primarily for you. Whereas when you think and have a larger vision that actually supports other people, then you will have everything on your vision board. So the vision board is the second step. The movie The Secret said, oh, just go cut out some images and everything's going to be okay. Just look at it every single day and they'll manifest in your life. No. That manifestation through the mind can happen in that way, but that's self-directed manifestation. We want to explore a different type of manifestation, which is actually service-based manifestation, by serving others, right, which is our giving, and then learning how to receive for that service. Then from there, we have everything that we want on our vision board. I've said this to you before. Who is going to be wealthier? And I want you to answer this in chat. Who is going to be wealthier? The person who is seeking a single family home for themselves, or a person who is seeking to house other people? Who's going to be wealthier? Yes, the person who becomes a real estate investor, the person who becomes a landlord, is likely going to be wealthier than the person who is just seeking a single family home for themselves, right? Now, who's going to be wealthier? The person who is seeking a job for themselves, or the person who seeks to create jobs for other people? Yes, the entrepreneur, the person who is seeking to create jobs for other people. That person is thinking beyond themselves. They're thinking bigger than just themselves. And so when you think about vision boards, right, they only focus on what you want for yourself, whereas you will actually achieve more wealth when you focus your thought energy on helping other people, all of God's children that exist here, your brothers and sisters. And so it's a completely different perspective and a way to approach getting what you desire in life. And so that's what we explored on Friday. And that's just a little quick recap as we are going to go through this particular commandment, money commandment number 5, on how the rich and righteous ask for money throughout this week. So I just wanted to tie that in case you weren't here last week, or just over the strong end, that you remember where we started out on this journey. Okay, so for those of you joining us for the first time, we want to welcome you. Go ahead and type 0 in chat. Go ahead and type 0 in chat if you're joining us for the first time. You will have a 1 by the end of the day. And you can join this free challenge, this free 100-day money mindset reprogram at richrightnow.com. Richrightnow.com. That is an affirmation that you are rich right now. And if you go there, or when you go there and sign up on the thank you page, you'll get the opportunity to get the ebook, audiobook, and all of the replays that you missed, right? Or you can get actual physical copies of the book if you like to be like me, where you're taking notes all inside the book and highlighting and underlining. Those opportunities are there. We meet every weekday at 8:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time right here on YouTube. And so set your phone alarm and get ready for a journey of your life. You know, everybody is going to go out this week and they're going to work for money, right? Here in this space, we take a moment to figure out how money works. So before we go work for money, we take a moment to figure out how money works, so that we just aren't working tirelessly, trading time for money for our entire lives. Okay, so let's get into the reading and get this strong end, or this strong week off to a start. And we are on page 186 to 190 today. So we got about 5 pages. Today. And so let's get it in. All right. Type I got it when you got it. Type I-G-O-D, lowercase, it. Type I got it when you're ready, and let's get into it. All right. So today's title is The Greatest Sin of All. The greatest sin of all. Now, we know that sin just literally means in archery to miss the mark, right? It means that I've missed the mark, right? It doesn't mean that I'm damned to hell. It means that I missed the mark. In fact, Adam and Eve, or Eve eating the apple, is not the greatest sin of all, family. And I know that's what many of you have been taught who are participating in religion or Christianity. That is not the greatest sin of all. And we're going to get into the Gospels and what Jesus actually says about sin, you know. In fact, when you think about the quote unquote fall, first and foremost, the fall is not in the Bible. Let's just start there. And then on top of that, you realize the word sin does not come up during the creation story. The word sin, right, doesn't come up till Genesis 4:7, when God is supposedly speaking to Cain before he murders Abel. So it does not come up in Adam and Eve and that interaction with the serpent and the tree. The word sin does not come up there. So did they miss the mark? Might they have been disobedient? Might they have not listened to God? Yes, but it didn't get categorized as sin. Cain, considering or premeditating killing Abel, that is the first mention of sin in the Bible. All right, so that's just, I encourage you just to read the text for yourself, family. Before you accept secondhand information, you can go directly to the Mother, Father, God yourself. And one of the biggest challenges, I challenge everybody who is committed to a particular religion, right? I was looking for another word, who is committed to a particular religion. I encourage you to read the text for yourself, period. That alone would transform your relationship to the Creator, all right? So let's get into it. We are reading, our scripture for the day is Mark 11:24, and it is, therefore I tell you, whatever you ask in prayer, believe that you have received it, and it will be yours. Therefore, I tell you, whatever you ask in prayer, believe that you have received it, and it will be yours. So the receiving part starts within, right? So let's get into the greatest sin of all. The greatest sin in the world is cynicism. Everybody type that. S-I-N, not the C-Y. S-I-N hyphen I-C-I-S-M. You know I make up words here, right? The greatest sin in the world is cynicism. Okay? Now, cynicism with the C-Y is an attitude characterized by a general distrust of others' motives. Okay? The CY, the one in the dictionary, is cynicism is the attitude characterized by general distrust of others' motives. Watch this, family. Cynicism, the one that I just had you type, the one that we are making up to describe our experience here on earth, just like Adam was able to name all the characters and name all the situation or animals, right? We have the power to name our experience. So cynicism is a lack of belief in yourself, your dreams, other people, humanity, and God. So again, the other cynicism is lack of belief in other people, distrust in other people outside of yourself. The greatest sin of all is cynicism, which is lack of belief in yourself. That's the greatest sin of all, family. That's where we miss the mark the most. Okay? When you don't believe, you experience poverty mentality and materially, when you don't believe, you experience poverty mentally and materially, which is hell on earth. We know that heaven is not some place you go to in the sky when you die, and hell is not some place you go to if you were disobedient while you were on earth. There are people who are experiencing heaven on earth in their whole season right now. Yes, whole season, heaven on earth. And there are people who are experiencing hell on earth right now in the flesh, not afterwards, right? Because the kingdom of heaven isn't our midst. It's right here and right now. Okay. Cynics habitually look for what's wrong, imagine the worst case scenario, and argue why something won't work to justify their belief or lack thereof. So if you find yourself doing one of these three things, cynics habitually look for what's wrong, right? 2, they look for what's wrong. Then they imagine the worst case scenario instead of the best case scenario. And they argue why something won't work to justify their belief or lack thereof. Okay. So the reality is that you actually do believe. You do believe. The question is, what do you believe in? And by belief, I don't just mean like God, right? Do you believe in the worst case scenario or the best case scenario or something in between? So you're believing, right? It's just about what you were believing in more. Are you understanding? Okay. So belief is constant. For instance, some people also say that they're not consistent. They're inconsistent. Well, you might be inconsistent in regard to your purpose and your dreams, but you brush your teeth every day. You shower every day. You eat every day. You make up your bed every day. Some of y'all are like, no, I don't. What I'm saying is there's things that you do consistently. The question is, are you doing the things that you desire to do consistently? The same thing with belief. You're believing in something. In fact, you actually believed in the life that you are living right now. This is why you're living it. You didn't believe in a life that was less than the one that you have right now. You didn't believe in one that was greater than the one you have right now. You believed for and in the one that you are living right now. Remember, we said that spectrum of probable, right? I could probably get a good job that pays 6 figures. Then we said possible. Yeah, it's possible that I could get to $250,000 a year at a job. It's possible, right? Then we got into impossible, right? I don't know if I could ever get there. And then we got into infinite possibility, things that aren't even in your imagination. You couldn't even fathom. Remember I said, what did I say? Have you ever considered asking for a galaxy? You over here asking for a car and a house and a man or a woman. Have you ever considered asking for a galaxy? You realize how big God is, and that if God gave everyone everything on their vision boards, God still would not be tapped out? So you believed in the life that you have today. You didn't believe anything less. You didn't believe anything greater. So this is why you have what you have today. All right. Jesus, this is the one. Jesus said, "It is done unto you as you wish." Is that what he said? No. He said, "It is done unto you as you work." No. It said, "It is done unto you as you believe." It is done unto you as you believe. All right. So if you believe it won't work, then guess what? It won't work. Henry Ford said the same thing in the quote, "Whether you think you can or you think you can't, you are right." This is why cynics are always right. You hear that? This is why cynics are always right. And that only reinforces their cynicism. So I believe that it's not possible. And then because my belief, it does not work out. And therefore now I believe more and more that things won't work out for me. So I've confirmed my own belief. There is a phenomenon called confirmation bias, which is the tendency for us to search for, interpret, favor, and recall information in a way that confirms or supports one's prior belief or values, right? Notice the word prior, because how does transformation occur according to Scripture? Transformation occurs according to Scripture by renewing our mind, renewing our belief system. Be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind, right? But if we are continuing to reference old beliefs and old programming, which we discussed, then I can only recreate the life based on that old programming. Because nobody ever likes to be wrong or feel wrong, we tend to only look for evidence that reinforces our argument, even when there is compelling, overwhelming evidence supporting the opposite belief right before your eyes. We won't see it. We can't see it. Instead, we will say, "See, look, I told you so," or "I knew it," or "This always happens." How many of you caught yourself saying any of those things? "Look, I told you so. I knew it. This always happens." That was your confirmation bias. You believed in the worst case scenario. That worst case scenario manifested, and now it's proven that you were right in your lack of belief. It's a vicious, vicious cycle. The subconscious mind is a blind servant. It does not shape perception based on what is actually true. It bases its reality on what is repeated and the most, and thus programmed. The beautiful thing about confirmation bias is that you can lean your bias towards an experience that will be better for you. It's the same muscle used in a different direction. Instead of trying to prove you are right, you can use it to turn your life in the direction of righteousness, like a small rudder can change the direction of an entire ship, right? So we know that the subconscious mind is responsible for like 95% of our daily interactions and decisions. It's all programming. But this small little rudder, as we try to turn the Titanic of our life in a different direction, that small little rudder, what is it? It's the conscious mind. The conscious mind does not have the power of the subconscious mind, nowhere near it. Right? The conscious mind only processes 40 bits of information per second. The subconscious mind processes 40 million bits of information per second. It's like 1,000,000 times more powerful, right? But the conscious mind has executive authority and power over the subconscious mind, which is what we are using to renew our mind, right? So that like that little rudder, it can actually turn the full direction of the ship or the full direction of your life. Suppose you had some tough romantic breakups, which reinforce your belief that love hurts, reinforces your belief that love hurts that you got from observing your parents' relationship, right? The reason some of us are having difficulty dating is because we had some programmed lessons, not only told from our parents, but also from observing our parents. I know my parents got divorced. And if I were to think that seeing them get divorced didn't have an impact in terms of how I actually dated, right? I would be amiss. I would be aloof, right? And so suppose you had some tough romantic heartbreaks, which reinforce your belief that love hurts that you got from observing your parents' relationship. In that case, you can consciously choose to override the quiet yet strong current of the subconscious mind and think the opposite thought, that love heals. You can continue to believe that love hurts. and I don't want to go over there because I keep getting burned, right? Or you can say that may have happened to me. That may be a fact that I got burned by love. But the truth of what love really is, when we look at love from an agape, from a godly perspective, is that true love, it heals. And I'm going to choose to believe in the fact that love heals more than I believe in the fact that love hurts. So it's like balancing scales. Which one are you believing in more? Love heals. It's heavier, right? There's more density here. Even though I may have this physical experience, which seems dense, that says that love hurts, my belief, right? I've amassed a belief here that no, love heals. I really believe that love heals, and I want to be an active demonstration of love that heals. I want to participate, and I want to experience, and I want to give love that heals, and I want to receive love that heals. I believe in that, right? And so the belief that you have, it's all belief, right? You are choosing to believe this more than this, despite that this has been a fact of your experience, but you believe that this is the truth. And we made the distinctions between fact and truth. It's a fact that I may be a certain age or you may be a certain age, right? But it's not the truth of who you are, because you are a spiritual being having an earthly experience. So the truth of who you are is that you are eternal. But today, it may be a fact that you are 35 years old today. It may be a fact that you are 60 years old today. But the truth of who you are, right? Once this body is done, the truth is that you are an eternal being. So we have to make a distinction between fact and truth. And sometimes people believe in facts more than they actually believe in truth. And some people even use fact and truth synonymously when they're not. Okay? We're in the middle of page 187. If you felt like you were lied to by religion and thus felt that the truth hurts, you can consciously override the subconscious mind and choose the opposite thought, that the truth shall set you free. Both of those are like common statements. The truth hurts. Then we know that in the Bible, Jesus said the truth shall set you free. Both are like common statements. Which one do you believe in more, though? Which one do you believe in more? That is the question. If your experience with money has been that it is hard to come by, you can consciously override the subconscious mind and look for evidence of money coming to you easily, frequently, and abundantly. I said this during COVID as people were getting stimulus checks. You should have been embracing that feeling and that experience of money coming to you easily, right? And if you could embody that rather than, okay, now I got to go pay some bills, this and that. No, it is possible for money to come to me easily. Now, do I want it to continue to come from the government in this way? No, that's not what I'm looking for. I want to be able to create in my own personal economy. I don't want to have to rely on the government or some outside entity, anything outside of myself, but at least I experience money coming to me easily. For perhaps the first time. This was probably the first time some people got mailbox money, right? For many years, only landlords, right, got mailbox money, like money coming in on the first of every single month. But this was some people's first experience of receiving money without actually having to work for it, and just tapping into that feeling tonality, tapping into that vibration to know that it is possible without COVID, without any government stimulus, right? We want to be able to stimulate our own economy, not wait on government stimulus checks, right? So if your experience with money has been that it's hard to come by, you can consciously override the subconscious mind and look for evidence that money can come to you easily, frequently, and abundantly. Second paragraph, page 187. Belief is the bridge between where you are now and where you want to be. Belief is the bridge between where you are now and where you want to be. That's why we call it a faith walk. You are stepping before you can see the stone. You are jumping before the plane is built. You are going before the light turns green. Remember that scene in Indiana Jones where he was actually going after the Holy Grail, and he had to do basically the faith walk. There was this big gap, right? Maybe like 10 yards, and the Holy Grail was there. He could see it. But in order to get there, he had to step on this invisible rock. So he took the faith walk. He didn't fall. He didn't die, right? And then out of fear, he started throwing sand, or out of prudence, he started throwing sand out there because now he knew there was a path there. And then he made his way to the Holy Grail. Okay? So This is a faith walk, and belief is the bridge. He had to believe to take that first step. And this first step is usually the most powerful. When you take a step of faith or a leap of faith and you get caught. In fact, I just saw a video where not a mosh pit, but where, the artists, they jump off stage. I know there's a word for that, where they jump off stage and the crowd catches them. No, this is not the video where the crowd did not catch him. But just imagine the faith that I'm just going to jump and I'm going to hope and have faith that these people catch me. To me, that was a demonstration of how it is to be in faith with God, that I'm going to do as God commanded me to do. And even if it doesn't seem to make sense, that I'm going to be held. I'm going to be caught. In fact, my daughter taking swim lessons and just seeing her float and just lean into the buoyancy of the water, right? That's another demonstration, an example of faith. But when people don't think they can swim, even though you were swimming in your mother's womb and you can throw a baby in the water and it will immediately flip on its back and float. We actually unlearned to swim, but what happens? It was the fear. It was the fear that now this person who could swim the moment they came out of the womb and while in the womb, they knew how to swim. They unlearned it due to fear. Movies like Jaws or just stories of drowning and things of that nature. Now, even as an adult, they're fearful and they can't tap into the buoyancy, the natural buoyancy of the water. Right? And so these things translate to the way we relate to God and trusting, right? Having that belief, having that faith. Someone doubted everything you see in the world today. Everything you see in the world today, somebody out there doubted it. But there was still somebody who believed in it. Somebody doubted the phone. Well, when Alexander Graham Bell came up with the phone, somebody doubted that. You can't do that. Somebody doubted the car. Henry Ford said, nope, this is possible, right? Somebody doubted the internet. Somebody doubted airplanes when the Wright brothers were doing it. People looking at them crashing. There were people who doubted. Someone doubted everything you see in the world today. But there was also someone who believed, okay? Because all those things are still here. Every creation begins with faith. Scripture says some things are possible. Is that what scripture says? No. It says all things are possible. Okay, everybody type that. All things are possible. It does not say some things are possible. If energy is never created or destroyed, right? If energy is never created or destroyed, then all potentiality already exists right here, right now. We just have to renew our minds to be able to see the potentiality not only in ourselves, but also in the world. I've said it before, the iPhone was here when the pyramids were built. All of the physical raw materials needed for the iPhone were here. But there was not a mind that could actually see it at that particular time. They could see a pyramid, which is an absolutely amazing feat, right? There were powerful minds at that time, but they couldn't see the iPhone, even though all the raw materials, none of these raw materials are new. Some of the technologies needed to access them are new, but all of the raw materials that are in your phone right now, they were already here. Because energy is never created or destroyed. We didn't go get some new rocks from some other planets and then start making iPhones. Everything was there. There was just not a mind that could actually see it. All right? Don't let anyone tell you that something you believe in is not possible. Your belief in yourself and your ideas must be greater than their unbelief. Your belief in yourself and your ideas must be greater than their unbelief. Like the whole narrative of, people don't believe in me. They don't believe in me. My parents don't believe in me. My spouse doesn't believe in me. My friends don't believe in me. They don't believe in me. No. Your belief has to be greater than their unbelief. All that matters is what you believe about yourself. All that matters is what you believe about yourself. If you let them knock you off your path, then you simply didn't believe enough. It's not that they are haters. It's not that they are doubters. You didn't believe enough. So don't point the finger outward, look in the mirror and look inward. I didn't believe enough in that business. I didn't believe enough in that idea. Right? We have to take personal responsibility in this particular financial philosophy. You don't need permission from anyone else on a mission from God. If you get a divine download and God says do this, you don't need permission from anyone else. You just go. Thy will be done. Thy will be done. Thy will be done. I don't care about public perception. I don't care what anyone says. Now, there may be some people close to you that you have to communicate what God told you with, because their lives will be affected by your choice. But you do not need permission from anyone else on a mission from God. And in fact, when you actually follow a mission from God, even if it is perceived as difficult, you will succeed. God does not give you missions that you fail at. God is like Lao Tzu, okay? I think the paraphrasing, you only go to war if you know you're going to win. You only go to war if you know you're going to win. You don't go to war if you're uncertain about winning. Okay? So anytime you doubt yourself, it means you've simply forgotten who you are. Never forget who you are, whose you are, and what is yours as a child of God. Fear, doubt, and worry are weeds that strangle any good seed you've planted in your subconscious mind. Your job is to be a good guard inner, right? You're guarding your inner so that those seeds become trees and bear good fruit. Listen to me very carefully, family. Gods don't doubt. Gods don't doubt. Everybody type that in lowercase g. Gods don't doubt. They demonstrate. Jesus was a public demonstrator. There was no doubt in the character of Jesus. No doubt. 100% belief. And even when Jesus did heal, it wasn't actually, I can't even say that Jesus healed, because every time there was a healing, what would he say? Your faith has made you whole. Your belief has made you whole. Not mine. It is your belief that made you whole. So when you actually look at that language, Jesus was saying that I didn't heal you. Your own belief healed you. Now, I may have been a catalyst in building up your belief in the same way that I am here being a catalyst and you all building up your belief in the abundance that is your birthright, right? But I am not the one that is responsible for your wealth. It will be you. It'll be your belief in yourself and the divine ideas and the rich seed that you get, and you being a gardener of your subconscious mind. It will not be me that creates your wealth. You understand? Your job is to be a good gardener so that those seeds become trees and bear fruits. Gods don't doubt. Type that. Gods don't doubt, they demonstrate. Gods, lowercase g, we are children of God, and we are gods with the apostrophe, possessiveness. Yes, we belong to God as children of God. Gods don't doubt, they demonstrate. Or as I like to say, set demons straight. We set demons straight. When you demonstrate, you set demons straight. The demons are not some ghostly characters trying to, oh, the devil is, no. Demon is nothing outside of you. The demons are fear, doubt, worry. We set those things straight when we believe. That's how we overcome those things, is through belief. Not believing yourself will cause you to be leaving money on the table and be leaving unlocked doors unentered. Everybody type BE-leaving. BE-leaving. Not believing in yourself will cause you to be leaving money on the table and be leaving unlocked doors unentered. Knock and the door will be open. Luke 11:19. Second paragraph, page 188. Some people need to see it to believe it. No, it's the opposite when it comes to manifestation. You have to believe it to see it. You have to believe it in order to see it. If you don't believe it, you won't be able to see it. Right? Dating perspective. This whole notion of all men are dogs. Now I know that all the women who are here don't believe that, right? All men are dogs, though. That's a phrase. So if I believe that all men are dogs, right? If I'm a woman and I believe that all men are dogs, then even if an amazing man approaches, then you will not see him because you don't believe he exists. Same thing for men. If you believe that all women are witches, right? Even when an amazing one is in your presence, you won't see her because you don't believe that she exists. In Mark 11:24 says, therefore I tell you, whatever you ask in prayer, believe that you have received it and it will be yours. If you have to see it to believe it, then it would be impossible for anyone born in poverty to become a millionaire. It would be impossible for any couple from single parent homes to have healthy marriages. It would be impossible for a man to create fire or fly for the first time. There would be no first generation anything because history would repeat itself based on what one could see. No first generation college graduates, no first generation entrepreneurs, no first generation millionaires, no first generation homeowners, no first generation happy marriages. Because if somebody has to see it with their two physical eyes before they can believe it, then none of this would be possible. We'd only be recreating that which we've already seen. History would only be repeating itself. So this is why you actually have to believe it first, regardless of what you've seen with your eyes, in order to receive it. Is this making sense? For some, seeing is believing, but they will be limited by what they see with their physical eyes. So if I have to wait to meet a billionaire to believe that a billionaire is possible, then I'm going to be stuck. If I have to wait to meet a millionaire and see their lifestyle and see that it is possible, right? I can see it on TV or whatnot, but actually to touch somebody, to know somebody in person, to actually have the phone number of a millionaire, to be receiving mentorship, if I actually have to see it first before I can believe it, then I'll be limited by what I see. And we know that these eyes do not capture all, right? These eyes, the light waves that these eyes can see are very limited in comparison to all the waves and frequencies that exist. So we will be limited by what we can see. You know, how many of y'all been to In-N-Out Burger? How many of y'all been in In-N-Out Burger? In-N-Out Burger has one of the simplest menus. It's like hamburger, cheeseburger, double cheeseburger, shake, soda, fries, right? That's all on the menu. McDonald's menu is like, you got to go like this on McDonald's menu, right? And I don't eat McDonald's, but you got to look like this. It's a whole wall. In-N-Out Burger menu is like this, right? It's got like 5 things on it. So, but what many people don't know is because they only use their eyes and perception, even though all the ingredients are in their back, there's actually a hidden menu at In-N-Out. There's a hidden menu, right? And what I mean by a hidden menu, there's like 30 more options beyond just what you see here. If you go ask for your fries or your burger animal style, they'll actually grill the onions and put it on there. But it's not on the menu. So if you are only choosing your life based on what you see, you will have a limited experience of life. All the ingredients, the onions are back there, right? The onions are on that hamburger right there. And there's also a grill. And so guess what? There's a possibility that they could grill onions and put it on my burger or put it on my fries. But because I'm choosing from this limited menu instead of seeing all that's possible, then I'm having a limited experience of what I could have here. The hidden menu at In-N-Out is actually larger than the menu that you can see and that they present to you. This is making sense. So you are cutting yourself off by only using your eyes to perceive reality. All right? For some, seeing is believing, but they will be limited by what they see with their physical eyes. Master manifestors, which is what you are becoming, have the ability to believe in something until they see it. To believe in something until they see it. That's how new possibilities get created. There is power in proximity, but if a kid in poverty never ends up close enough to a millionaire mentor to see how they live, move, and have their being, their only access to wealth is through their imagination, which is closer to them than anything or anyone. All they need is a mustard seed of belief in themselves to begin manifesting. Top of page 189. In the context of dating, yes, as I said before, if you believe that all men are dogs, you will never recognize a God. And you realize that God and dog are the same word spelled backwards. If you believe that all men are dogs, you will never recognize a God, lowercase g, when one is in front of you. If you believe that all women are witches, you will never recognize a princess. The perfect partner, business idea, or opportunity could walk right up to you in your face, but you won't recognize it because you don't believe it exists. All the good men and women are taken. She probably only dates athletes. There is nothing new under the sun. People keep stealing my business ideas. They would never hire me. All of these excuses or X causes are not the reasons you aren't getting what you want in life. If we peel back the onion, speaking of onions again, if we peel back the onion, we will find that your limited belief and limiting beliefs are the reasons. And these are made up excuses to protect you from showing up and shooting your shot. Taking a chance. When you look at the etymology of the word receive, everybody type that, RE-CEIVE. Receive. Let's break down that word, right? When you look at the etymology of the word receive, the prefix re means again or twice, and the suffix sieve means to get. So guess what? So when you are receiving, when you receive something, you are simply getting in your hand what was already in your head and heart. You are simply getting in your hand what was already in your head and heart. You are receiving it. It is coming to you again. This is why I say when you become a millionaire, you have to be a multimillionaire. First in your mind and then in your material experience. You had to become it here first in order to have it out there second. So receiving, right, means that you are simply getting in your hand what was already in your head and heart. Again, means again or twice, right? And sieve means to get. So I'm getting it again. I already had it up here and in here. And now I'm getting it again right here. In order to receive, first you must perceive, right? Which means to get it in your awareness and believe it is possible. This is why it's all the game of perception. You be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind. When you renew your mind, you have a new perception and perspective of reality. You have a new belief in what's possible for you because we renewed the mind, and the mind then has different projections that come out through the eyes. Remember, the eyes are not receivers, family. We've been taught that the eyes are receivers, but I want you to think of the eyes as projectors of what's in here. It's the exact opposite. Your eyes aren't just here receiving information in, they're actually projecting your reality outward. In order to receive, first you must perceive, which means to get it in your awareness and believe it is possible. Out of mind, out of sight. You heard that terminology, out of mind, out of sight, out of mind, right? If you never consider the possibility, it will be hard to grasp it. Next, you have to conceive. Conceive, which means to get it planted in the heaven of your mind. So in the same way that a woman conceives a child, now we have to plant that seed in the heaven of our mind, right? We have to conceive. Yes, men, you're giving birth to ideas. It may not be children, you're giving birth to ideas. And so the allegory around Herod killing all the children under the age of 2, that is killing all the divine thought seeds inside of you before they mature to Christ consciousness. You're just going to go out and kill all the babies that are under this age because they said that the Messiah is coming? Yeah, that is an allegory for how a fearful mind attacks and kills all of your divine ideas, the thought seeds that you were given, the rich seeds that you were given before they mature and elevate into Christ consciousness. So next you have to conceive, which means to get it planted in the heaven of your mind. Just like when a child is conceived, it is internal. Conception is internal. Even the word concept is internal until I externalize it. Third, we must receive, which we know means again, right? To get again. But this time materially on earth as it is in heaven mentally. Our purpose here, family, is to bring heaven, right? Our mental experience of life, the greatest good we can see for ourselves and others on earth, which is our material experience. That's why we are here, right? And so we perceive, then we conceive, and then we receive. Perceive, conceive, receive. Getting what you want in life is not luck, it is law. Getting what you want in life is not luck, family. God isn't just up there saying, oh, this person's been good, I'm going to give them some more. Oh, because we know that there are people who are not doing right by all of God's children who still understand how to manifest. And they're manifesting at very high levels, right? There are rich people who are not righteous. We are trying to make sure that the righteous become rich, right? Because God is not a respecter of persons. In the same way that a tree, right? A tree will give shade to a person who just murdered somebody and to a person who just fed 100 kids equally. No respect of person. There are physical laws that put the shade on those two people equally. That tree will also give fruit to each of them equally. God is not a respecter of persons because this is a law-based universe. It is a law-based universe. It is programmed. It is coded. And what we're trying to do is understand the codes. We're trying to decode these unseen universal laws so that we can use them with intention, with good intention. So everybody type, it's not luck, it's law. It's not luck, it's law. Oh, I'll be lucky if God just... No, it's law. We understand God's laws, and then we can use them to create whatever we desire. We don't have to just wait and just hope that luck occurs. And even when you perceive something as luck occurring, there was likely a law that you used that you were unaware that you used. It was a law that you used that you were unaware that you were using. So I'd rather be aware of the laws so that I can use them with intention. The universal laws are exact. Just like two hydrogen atoms combined with one oxygen atom will produce steam, water, or ice, depending on specific temperatures. The universal laws are exact. In Acts 10:34 through 35, Peter adds, "Of a truth I perceive that God is no respecter of persons, but in every nation he that feareth him and worketh righteousness is accepted with him." God doesn't show favoritism, family, but you will receive favor when you are in alignment with the universal laws God created. Okay? That's how you become favored. When you are in alignment with the universal laws that God created. This alignment is righteousness. This is why Jesus said, "It is done unto you as you believe." He didn't say it is done unto you based on your religion, morality, class, race, gender, nationality, education, work ethic, or likability, right? He said it is done unto you as you believe, because the universe operates by law and manifestation is fair and just. Woo! So that concludes today's reading, family. Go ahead and chat and type your greatest takeaway so that we can anchor those in and that other people can catch the seeds that you caught, and feel free to put it in your own language. It's law, right? Not luck. It's law, not luck, right? Cynicism, lack of belief in myself, right, is the greatest sin of all. All things are possible. It doesn't say some things are possible. All things are possible, okay, in God. Gods don't doubt. That's a big one. Gods do not doubt. We demonstrate. We demonstrate. Other people can doubt us. Other people can doubt the things that we're building. Other people can doubt our relationship with God, right? But we don't doubt because it is done unto us as we believe. Yes, and righteousness is in alignment with these universal laws. That's how we become favored, right? And sometimes you have favorable outcomes even though you are unaware of the law, right? But favoritism actually comes when you're in alignment with the laws that God created. That's how you get favored, okay? Yes, you have to believe it in order to see it. You have to believe it in order to see it, family. It's not the other way around. And if you move based on the other way, that you have to see it to believe it, your experience of life will just be limited like the In-N-Out Burger menu. All right? So that concludes today's reading. Tomorrow, we're going to go into using your imagination. We're going to go to using your imagination. We know that that's how God created in Genesis. And as children of God, we want to create like our mother, father, God. And so that's what we'll be discussing tomorrow. We'll be here at 8:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time right here on YouTube. I want to thank you so much for being here. Again, if you just joined us, you found us via the algorithm, people liking and sharing the video, you can go to richrightnow.com and join this 100-day money mindset reprogram for absolutely free. We just crossed the halfway mark, so it's not too late to come get in on this good goodness, and I will see you all tomorrow. Okay. Again, be God to yourself, meaning love yourself as God loves you, right? Also be master over yourself as God is master over you. And remember that you are God or first cause in your own life, and no individual, institution, or situation outside of yourself has more power over the direction of your life than you. Much love, family. Peace.
I, Jullien Gordon, with this mortgage, relinquish part of my freedom to psych. I've been rent-free since I acquired my first multifamily property, a triplex in Brooklyn, New York, in May of 2013. And since then, I now own 16 multifamily properties with 40 doors that generate about $38,000 per month in rents in just 8 years on the side. Do not sign a 30-year mortgage. Get freedom for life when you buy a multifamily property. Did you know that the word mortgage literally means death pledge? The prefix mort is the same as mortician or mortuary. Listen to me. 44 million households rent, and 82 million single-family buyers think that they own, but they don't. HGTV will say, congrats, you're a homeowner. But that's not true. That's a lie. The moment you get the keys, you're a home buyer. And that is a huge difference. As a home buyer, you're still paying rent. It's not rent to a landlord. It's rent to the bank to use their money. That's called interest. You are borrowing the bank's money, right? The interest on a $300,000 home at a 4% interest rate will be about $208,000 over 30 years. So that $300,000 house is actually a $508,000 house. What does that mean? That means that you're not only buying yourself a home, you're also buying a home for your banker. If this is you, I can help you get out of this by acquiring a multifamily property. Whether it is rent or a mortgage payment, most American housing expense takes up about 35% of their income. In times like this, when rents are rising, unemployment is rising, and inflation is rising, but wages are staying stagnant, you absolutely need to be rent and mortgage free. Imagine the freedom of never, ever, 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 ever having a housing expense for the rest of your life. If you want financial freedom, starting with your rent and your mortgage, like I did, then click the link below and register for my free webinar coming up on how to finance, find, and finalize multifamily real estate deals. It is actually not as hard as you may think, but keeping up with rising housing costs are. You need to be the receivers of rent, not the payers. Your time is now. Click the link below.